In this video, we're going to review the manufacturing functionality found in xTuple ERP. As you can see from the following list here, xTuple can and currently does support a number of different kinds of manufacturing environments, from very complex to light manufacturing, job-oriented manufacturing, service and project-oriented manufacturing, light process manufacturing, even a manufacturing environment that might be appropriate for a distributor who's just trying to capture some costs for some of the value-added services that they're providing for their solution. The key to being able to support so many different kinds of environments is the functionality that exists in xTuple's manufacturing software. Today we can currently support both a make-to-order and a make-to-stock environment, and a mixed mode environment whereby you might be a little bit of a manufacturer to order and a little bit of a manufacturer to stock kind of environment. Many other ERP solutions today focus on one or the other. One of the key benefits to xTuple's manufacturing solution is the ability to be adaptive to multiple different kinds of requirements. There are videos to a lot of what I'm going to get into today and show specifically. At the end, I will show some of the capability in the manufacturing solution, but please keep coming back to xTuple University and checking for videos if you don't see one specific to a topic that I cover. Examples of a make-to-order environment where some of our customers are using the software today are some of the following. A finish-to-order manufacturer is somebody who is a manufacturer but might not keep any finished manufacturing product on the shelf. Rather, they like to be responsive to their customers, get the order, and then draw from the inventory on hand of raw materials and sub-assemblies to put that final assembly together. A configure to order takes that maybe even a step further and allows for variations on a product. Maybe there are features and options that are available to your product that you sell to your customers, and depending on which options the customer chooses, you're going to have a different production order with different material requirements. The xTuple's assemble to order configurator can support that environment. And then a job-oriented manufacturing environment, even inside of that, there are different kinds of job-oriented manufacturers. There is the kind of manufacturer that makes a product once and they know they will never make it again. Every product they make is unique. In that case, they don't want to keep items in inventory that they make. But there are others who make unique products, but then they know that they will have to make them again. So they like to keep them in inventory to draw on that same recipe that they had before, or the same bill of material that they had before, so they keep that item in stock. The key is that xTuple is flexible enough to work in all of these different kinds of environments. Now, a make-to-stock environment is much more inventory-oriented, meaning managing the inventory, making sure that you've got enough finished product on hand and that you have enough raw material and sub-assembly inventory on hand to make the product when you need to make the product. The tools that help you to decide what to make, when to make it, and when to purchase are the top two here: Material Requirements Planning, or MRP, and Master Production Scheduling, which is MPS. Master Production Scheduling allows you to bring in a forecast into the plan as well. So you're not just managing inventory levels, you are managing a forecast and building to a forecast. This system has lots of tools all throughout to help you to manage the inventory, to help you decide which products you need to have on hand, when you should buy them, and the quantities in which you should buy them. And you can get more detail on all of these in the different tracks in xTuple University. Inside of the scheduling track, you'll find a video for MRP and one for MPS. Inside the inventory track, under the item site videos, you'll see more information about the different inventory planning tools. So irrespective of the kind of a manufacturer that you are, there's key tools that you're going to need or want to need in order to help support your operations. I'm going to review a few of them, or these ones that we see here, actually in the product. The work order being the document inside of the application that captures all the costs, that captures all the instructions for making a product. The bill of material, the items that goes into it. The routing is the instructions, the steps in the manufacturing process. The traveler is the actual printed document that we'll see. What are the instructions? What are the materials that I need to go print and go get them? Shop floor reporting, we'll talk a little bit about specifically how we report against the work order. How do we record our time? How do we report completions? And partly that's enabled using barcoding. So we'll see. And first we'll go to the manufacturing desktop, and let's bring up the manufacturing schedule. I've got a few items in my schedule here. Let's look at this one in particular. If I want to drill into it, I could double click on it. I can right click and edit it and bring up the actual work order. So now you're looking at a work order inside of xTuple ERP. You can see the work order number here, the item that we're making, the quantity that we're making, the due date, the start date. All of that key information comes in from the item master. And down below, we're seeing the contents of the work order. So we can specifically look just at the operations. Now we're seeing the bill of material. Now, if we wanted to look just at the operations, I can see the steps in the manufacturing process. So I can see first we're going to paint, and then we're going to assemble, and then we're going to package this product. And if we look at it in a whole view here, I can actually see that in this case, I've associated material with operations. So when we do complete one operation, we're consuming this material. When we complete another operation, we're consuming the material associated with it. Let's take a look at the traveler that I spoke about so we can see what a printed document might look like. So I'm going to go ahead and print all of what we're seeing here, which is the pick list, the routing, and work order labels, so we can see what that looks like. And these are forms that are created inside of the xTuple report writer, and you have complete flexibility with changing, tailoring, and making these forms look how you need them to look for your business. The first form that comes up here is the pick list. Here are the raw materials that I need to go into the storeroom and pick for this particular job. Remember that I said I wanted to print labels as well. The quantity was 2, so I've got 2 labels here. Notice the label, again, a form that can be tailored to what you want it to look like, has the part number, has the item description, and has a barcode for the item on it. The last form that's included in the traveler is the routing. Now this is the work instructions and a very good example of some of the things that you can do with the xTuple report writer, including barcoding. The application is completely barcode enabled. So the application will know when you scan this number here, which is the work order number, it knows what that number is. So you have the work order number and you have it barcoded here. I've got the part number here and I've got an image of the part number. Maybe it's handy to have an image so that the people making the product know what the finished product should look like. Each step is also documented here as well. So we've got each operation. I've got a standard paint operation, which happens at this work center. I can have images at each operational step as well. So that's the tool or the printed document. Now let's take a look at what we can do to report against that. So I've got an open work order. I've got a document to work with here. So I'm going to open up a screen that we call the shop floor time clock. This is meant for reporting time for those employees out on the shop floor who want to spend not a lot of time but need to capture that information very quickly. So if they have an employee badge that has a barcode on it, we can scan the badge, we can scan that work order number. Remember there was a work order number out there. I can say that I want to work on a specific work order here, and maybe I want to work on one operation. So I'll clock into that one operation. And when I come back, maybe I can have multiple jobs open here. So when I come back, the system knows the different operations that I'm currently working on. So I'm going to come back to the one that I just clocked into and unclock out of it. And you can see that the system has kept track of my time. It's suggesting how many I should report as completed, but it allows me to change that if I need to. It includes the setup time and the aggregated run time. That's the time between when I clocked in and clocked out. The system is also going to consume some material here when I say that I've completed this step. Here's the material that I associated with it. I'm going to go ahead and post this operation, and that's complete. If I come back to the work order, there are other ways to report production. There are other ways to report completions if we want to. If you don't want people on the shop floor, you can do a very quick reporting of a completion for a job. Inventory can be backflushed, or it can be issued specifically to each job. There's lots of flexibility, lots of ways that you can use the xTuple manufacturing. I hope this provides a good overview of the capabilities of the system, and please check xTuple University for some more details on specific options.